cheering sorts of noises for what it's like to be a somewhat professional stand-up comedian by Nite Patel.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Let's give it up for the organizers and the prior presenters. The comedy tradition. All right, so just for the record, I have never been in a boy band or a girl band, and I'm pretty good at Scrabble, but not as good as Scott. I did not want to play him. He's intimidating, all right? All right, so I'm going to talk about what it's like to be a somewhat professional stand-up comedian. I'll clarify things as I go through. It's not moving. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Well, I can just tell you to flip slides like that work. But, all right, well, a little bit about me, as they say. My name is Nite Patel. I'm not the guy you'd expect, as you can probably tell. Most people couldn't tell I was presenting tonight about comedy. They thought I was taking pictures or something. But I'm Indian American. I grew up in Cleveland. That's Cleveland rocks. And and I used to be an engineer, then a product manager. And worked at Saturn, remember the car company? Went out of business, not my fault. But I have too many hobbies and interests that I kind of gave a sampling down there. But I think that's, hard in life, but it helps with comedy. I was not the family jokester. My brother was the family jokester, and I would sit on the sidelines and let him tell jokes, which weren't that great. But and then I was never that funny at work because, by definition, being funny is not being taken seriously, and that's not good at meetings, so I avoided that. But I learned at college that I was pretty funny at parties, and I would never drink enough to forget anything, so I would write down my funny thoughts the next day. And so we'll talk about that a little later, about how I got started. It's not working, but you just... Yeah, so what makes me somewhat professional? Well, I'm not famous, but I have been recognized at least 3 times locally. And I have over 15,000 subscribers on YouTube. Yeah. Thanks to my homeboys in India and homegirls in India and Bangladesh who are very easy to follow with some advertising versus us Americans, which I'll talk about later. But I do make people laugh consistently, relatively consistently, and I get paid to perform, but not that much. We'll talk about that later too. And I do have a business card, which I have a limited edition available later. Card right there. Designed it myself. Okay, so please play this video. This is a sampling of some of my comedy. I'll get out of the way. If you can press play, please. It's about a minute, so you won't get bored. I will not.
Hang on. You just have to do the set.
Yeah, right. I think I remember my set. Yeah, if you can't see it, that's fine. You can hear it. I worked at home. And it's web connected. I used enable content. There we go. We should have tested ahead of time. This is presentation comedy. Sorry, my fault too.
We are also semi-perfect.
That's right. Yeah. Let's hear it for the semi-professionals of the world. If not, I can try. I can try to remember the set, but I don't fully remember this 1 minute portion. We don't have time during the break. All right, please turn up the volume too, because in the beginning it might be. Wait, maybe you can rewind it again or start over again.
Well, you can tell I'm around here because you can test it on that judgment. A little bit of comedy. That life is based on a true story. And obviously, to jaywalk, we break down stereotypes. I am kind of rebel. Like, those bathroom dispensers with those towels that they pull with 2 hands. I pull with 1 hand. And successful. But I was actually born in India, and I came to the West when I was 4 months old. That's when I lost my accent. I can still do one. But I do not use it unless it is absolutely necessary. Like when I want to protect support guys to understand me.
All right, there we go. There's the second point. Thank you. Those are some of my better jokes, I'd say. But that was at campfire. Oops. Whoa. Okay, now I know where we are. Okay, so how did it all start? I alluded to it a little bit earlier, but I wrote down all my funny thoughts on funny.doc. This is before there was DocX. That's how old I am. But I would say Saturday Night Live and Letterman were my main inspirations. I probably watched Saturday Night Live before I should have as a kid, but I learned a lot. And then those college parties kind of told me I had something because people were laughing. And alcohol helps, makes you more creative, I'll be honest. But yeah, so I kept capturing my funny thoughts, and then what I did when I lived in the Detroit area is I did a speech, like a comedic speech for Indian professionals in the Detroit area. And my friend Renita, she said, I was expecting to have to laugh at you to be polite, but you were actually kind of funny. So that was very inspirational. She didn't realize she was helping me move forward with my comedy career. And then I took improv classes at Second City in Detroit. I live in Detroit as well, if anybody's from Detroit. And that was pretty cool, but that really wasn't my thing. Like, I'm not high energy, as you can tell. I don't have a lot of characters in my repertoire, so I kind of abandoned improv. Because it's very, you don't know how you're going to do, right? You can have a good thought idea one day and suck the next. Well, that can happen in stand-up too, for different reasons. So I abandoned that, and then I moved here in 2008, and I started watching a lot of comedy, open mics, and I thought, I can be funnier than some of those people. Because some comedians are lazy, they don't even try. And I was like, why are you even here? They didn't even get their set list together. So that was kind of how it all started. And then how did it keep going? Well, practice makes imperfect. I started doing stand-up in 2010, so that was shortly after I moved here to the Twin Cities. And it went good enough the first time that I thought, let me stick with it. I did some contests and stuff, but then I did one at I won't mention the comedy club name, at a comedy club in the suburbs in a large mall. And and I know I didn't deserve to be top 5 that day. I didn't do that well. But the guy that got second place knew the judges, and they did an American Idol thing where they would give commentary. She was like, that was your best set ever. But it was so not funny and so uncomfortable and dark and depressing. And he got second place, and it made me quit comedy. I was so pissed. So I stopped for 2 years, 2017 to 2019. And then Acme has their funniest person contest, right? And then I got the hankering, that's an old word. Is that in Scrabble? I think it is. The hankering to do comedy again. So I signed up for the Acme Funniest Person contest. I got a stage time in a week and a half, threw my 3-minute set together. I won the first round. And then in the semifinals, I got second place. But I had enough points to make it to the finals. For whatever reason, that's how I did the points. And then I was like, holy shit, maybe I'm pretty good. And then in the finals, I got 4th place. So that's pretty sweet. And I won load seats to a Minnesota Wild hockey game, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so I was worth quite a bit of money. So there's me in the lineup, got 4th place, and some other good comedians in 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 5th, whatever. And then I met these other comedians at open mics, and I started doing paid shows. So that's what makes me professional, because I make at least 1 cent when I perform comedy sometimes. Yes. That's technically it. So you guys, I'll pay you to do a joke, 1 cent, you can be pro too. Okay, so let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly about doing stand-up comedy. This is a little guy I designed called Spiral Head. I don't know, for t-shirts or something a long time ago, and it kind of represents the turmoil that goes on in my head, which helps me create jokes and whatever. I think every comedian has to be a little depressed or a little bit screwed up in some way, and a little intelligent too. You can't be totally dumb and be a comedian. Hopefully less screwed up than you are dumb. But so the good and why I keep doing it against financial advice. Well, I had a day job up until a year ago, so that was a little bit more lucrative. But whatever. So now I produce shows and I perform. But it's nice being the center of attention in an unselfish way because, you know, you have to be the one person talking. You're entertaining people, which I think is nice to do for people. And you're helping people forget their problems for a while, which I think is like one of the best things you can do for people, right? Especially in times like these. Tell me about it. I'm just glad I got here. I'm just trying not to get denaturalized. Because I was born in India. But applause is nice too. You know, yeah, thank you. And you're kind of building a community, right? So I know a lot of comedians now. I've hired at least 40 comedians at the different shows I produce, so it's kind of cool that way. And you're helping the local economy because I work with bars and restaurants and set up shows that can bring more people in. So it's kind of a cool thing to do in that regard as well. And it's a way to be creative and leave a legacy. Like, I used to hate to write, and then as I grew older, I had a blog, I started writing, I loved writing. And it's a way to express your opinion and make points or just be silly, whatever you want to do. And then the videos are out there, the content's out there, so I guess I'm leaving a legacy whether I want to or not. And this is the best part, because I used to be an engineer, and that's my joke as to why I switched to marketing, is because engineers wake up too early, marketing they roll in a little later, and I'm a night owl. And as comedy, I mean, I can roll out of bed at 10:30 and still might do my job reasonably well. And then the other interesting thing that people don't think about is as a producer, you have to make flyers for the shows. And I'm a little bit of an artiste and an expert at PowerPoint too. Oh, I never told you my nickname. One of my nicknames is Excel Patel. So that's what I had on the first slide. That's a true story. So I'll show you some of the flyers. It's kind of reminds me of like record album art. So you can see all the different variety. We had an LGBTQ show, which I thought of the great laugh big time with quality stand-up comedy. Nobody appreciated that. You guys appreciate it. You guys are better. And then like comedy of wine, Irish. This is I'll talk about later. Hat trick comedy. So I have all kinds of different themes. I only used AI twice. And I regret that. But there's so many like of these Canva template, stupid ass comedy posters with the curtains and oh my god. Don't get me started. It pisses me off. That's one of my favorites too. It's the, what do you call it? The Unusual Suspects stand-up comedy show. It was pretty weird. I had to reel things in at the end. Oh, here's another clip. This one's a little shorter. Oh look, it might work better this time. Yeah. So this one's at that place with the contest I didn't like. Look at that, it works.
And I realized that the whiter city is, the better advanced people might be, I guess. So New York City, I'm a beginner. In Minneapolis, I'm advanced. And Shasta, I'm getting started.
That's a little short one. Just so you don't have to hear me talk. Sorry. So the bad parts of being a stand-up comedian that's semi-professional or somewhat professional, and that they don't talk about on The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. You can bomb, and the silence can lead to self-doubt. You guys are great, but there are crowds that come to watch comedy, and they don't want to laugh, and it's like, why the hell are you here if you don't laugh? Like going back to my first joke, they're probably just judging me for whatever reason. Well, yeah, jokes and stuff are a different matter. But right from the beginning, you can tell sometimes. And so you can tell a joke that's totally like not true and ridiculous, but you still get judged for it. Like you get judged hard, trust me. So if you don't like being judged, then leave Minnesota and don't do comedy. But the other thing is like people hate. when you try to invite them to shows, they don't come, like my soccer team, my volleyball team, coworkers. Oh yeah, when's your next show? Then you tell them and they never show up. And the next time, when's your next show? Why do I tell you when you don't ever show up? No, really, we'll come this time. They didn't come this time. So it's like kind of annoying. So yeah, but once you're successful, everybody will love you. I mean, that's how social media works too. It feeds the rich, starves the poor. Losing money as a producer kind of sucks too. I mean, usually I make a little bit of money, and as a comedian, you usually get paid, but sometimes you gotta do like free shows. And it's like, why the hell are we devaluing ourselves and not requesting money for our jokes? What? No spec work, right. Well, the worst is you tell somebody to do comedy, and the first thing they tell you is, tell me a joke. It's like, plumbers don't do plumbing work for free, right? So, and then they think you're snarky for saying you don't want to tell them a joke. And here's the other one. 99.9% of the audience won't follow comics on social media, even if they laugh, even if they talk to you, even if you give them their card. And so we're trying to change that today. We're going to make a movement. All right. We're starting the comedy following movement here at Blackheart in St. Paul on March whatever 2026. Thank you. All right. And the craft. So, you know, I mean, part of it's getting up there, taking the risk, telling jokes. I take my comedy very seriously, so only laugh when it's appropriate. But a funny thought is not a joke. So a lot of people are funny in conversation, and I'm not really, to be honest. But every joke needs a twist to it, like something that's unexpected. That's what makes laughter, and a butt. So every joke has a butt of a joke, which seems like maybe you can write a joke that's really nice and friendly, but you're always making fun of something somehow. So then it's a matter of what the butt is, but that's just something to think about. And we don't just write a joke and then stick with it for the rest of our careers. We write it, rewrite it, memorize it, rewrite it, try it again, and then we either shelf it or we keep it. And then there's lots of jokes, depending on your style. You can have like shorter jokes or longer jokes. Some people tell stories. But going back to the controversy and being judged, what I try to do is do the fun, lighthearted stuff in the beginning so they like you. And then if you have controversial stuff, I put that towards the end. So they already like you. And then they might be a little questioning your jokes, but you know, at least they already like you. At least somewhat. And then there's lots of styles and trends in comedy. So like, there are storytellers, there are people that do one-liners. I'm kind of in between, like a 2, 3, 4-liner with some short stories thrown in, which isn't like the trend. And then crowd work is like the big thing. A lot of people get popular doing crowd work. And it's funny, but is it really comedy? It's debatable. And you think if like people are being interactive, but I could ask you what you do, right? And you might tell me what you do. I already have like 5 answers ready to go. So is it really, you know, spontaneous? Not always. But there's people that have gotten really big because of crowd work. So that's something to consider. And what's his name? Who's that hunky guy?
Ambrose. Don Rickles.
Matt Rife. Yeah, exactly. And he's kind of for other reasons, but he got big with crowd work, and because he looks the way he does, I'm pretty sure. Wait till he turns 50. So the other thing I learned is I tend to like rely on my joke writing, and I think I'm pretty clever with some of my jokes. But I learned, you know, not to step on people's laughter. You know, let them laugh, give them room to breathe and laugh, and then the jokes don't matter sometimes as much as the connection. So like eye contact, as well as just like making people feel like they can relate. Sometimes matter, or being cool or whatever, or fun. It matters more than the jokes. So like I get annoyed because I see people that aren't even funny that just the crowd loves them. But that's me. It's my fault. So that's the way it is. Like when you become hypercritical when you're a comedian because you think a lot of different things about their style versus yours. And then I always get told I need to be more high energy, which is annoying because there are a lot of comedians like I've heard of Stephen Wright who's like so monotone, or Dimitri Martin. I'm like, well, they can be monotone and low energy. Why can't I? Everyone wants me to be like more energetic, and it pisses me off. But whatever. And this is why I'm somewhat professional. but you'll never inevitably be told to like change something by somebody. And one last short clip, if you could play it. I need to Sorry to keep you jumping around.
My name is Abdul. I live in the University of Australia. Because I've heard that people since I was a kid. This time there's people I really school or to even when people cry, I just call them things that Ansel, Paul, and some of those computers, Excel. So, but my last name is very common in India. Most of my friends were married. They're pretty progressive, and they actually thought about making my last name, but then it was not actually done. But we're not actually related, it's thought themselves there. And I verified because it's on Ancestry.com, not Ancestry.com.
All right. That's one of my more clever ones. Ancestry.com, in case anybody could hear it. Sorry, the sound's not so great. All right, yeah. So the scene and a reality check. I have experience about the Twin Cities mostly, but I tried to perform wherever I travel, at least do an open mic. And my goal is to perform in all 50 states. I think I'm at like 20. But I performed in Tokyo, Reykjavik, because I traveled for work at my day job. So I would just do open mics. Or else, Lima, that was personal trip, and a few other places. So it's been kind of cool, like adjusting your jokes for different crowds. I can't tell Minnesota jokes in Lima, Peru, you know. But no, the worst thing about the comedy scene is it's very cliquish. So, you know, I thought, I'm pretty nice and friendly because I'm from Cleveland and all that. And people don't give a shit. Like they're in their circle, and I know I'm older than the typical comedian, but like they just don't include you, and they don't like want to book you, and they forget about you, or you book them, and it's just like I just hate the whole scene that way. People are really competitive, and you got to pay your dues. So you got to go to open mics, sign up 20 times, and get stage time once. And I don't have time for that crap, so I produce shows. And I didn't have time when I had a day job either, you know. But historically, the scene was a lot of like 20-something white guys that were broke and losers with the ladies. So like you couldn't tell one comic from the next, and there's like the same guys over and over again. Sorry, I don't mean to do it that way. That's one of my other jokes.
I don't know if my class was the same thing.
Right. That's one of my other jokes. When I moved to Minnesota, I realized that all white people don't look alike. But no, everybody wants to be booked, right? Because I produce, but nobody wants to help you get booked. So it's kind of annoying. But I keep notes, you know. And they have to help you market, but they don't help you market sometimes. It's like they're just ungrateful sometimes. But what's funny is like people get so arrogant when they get a little bit of success. And I jokingly say they make $30,000 a year, and then all of a sudden they don't want to talk to you. And it's like, whatever. I mean, if you're funny, I'll book you. If you're nice, you know, I'll book you again. That kind of thing. That's the way I look at it. And social media has made a lot of people think they're a comic. So like TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, whatever. But doing 30 seconds of jokes is a lot different than doing 10 minutes or 15 minutes or 30. I've gotten up to 40 yet. I'm working on getting up to an hour so I can be on Netflix one day before I die. But the other thing about social media is you got to be on it. I'm not a big social media guy, but you got to be on it for comedy, unfortunately. And you have to keep writing and trying new jokes, right? Some topical stuff. Just keep building up that routine. Some you retire. It's an ongoing process, and I come across piles of jokes that I had forgotten about, like from 8 years ago. So it's a different world. Has anybody here thought about doing stand-up comedy? Or done it? Oh yeah, you already know this guy. All right, yeah, you've done it. That's good. Who else? Yeah, all right. I could tell. You were like watching closely what I was talking about. And nodding perfectly. Thank you. But it's not easy, is it?
No.
You're right. So, and it's hard to stick with it. It's kind of like a lot of other things, like getting a Peloton or something. You know. How many people stick with it? I don't even know how many more slides I have. I'm just having fun. Okay, yeah. So all shows are not the same. So the where and the how matter. Like, I'm enjoying this vibe. I would love to do like a free show for this crowd someday, yeah. But the type of show, like, is it an open mic, right? So there might be like 20 comedians doing 3 or 4 or 5 minutes. Is it a free show? Then you have situations where you're doing a comedy show and like there's 20 people on the side playing pool who aren't paying attention because they got in for free. That's okay, it's not their fault. They didn't know, right? They wanted to play pool, I get it. And then sometimes you have like a features show, like feature and headliner type setup where it's like host, feature, and then headliner, or you can have a showcase where it's like 4 comedians that do the same amount of time. So those are all things to keep aware of as a audience member. And then there's lighting and sound. Like, here, the lighting's great, it sounds good. But sometimes you have like very suboptimal situation and crowd noise and all that. So, and hecklers and things like that. Small crowds, like I've done a show for like 4 people before. And then my joke is like, you can each adopt a comedian for just 67 cents a day. But the worst is when it's mostly comics in the crowd, which goes back to the clickiness and the competitiveness. There are guys out there and women who will not laugh at you even when you're funny because they don't want you to seem funny, which is just so toxic, just horrible. But that happens. That's why I hate going to open mics or shows where it's all comedians, because I'm not in the circle. I'm too old. So that's just the reality of it. So I'm trying to discourage you all from doing comedy because there's so much competition and there's only so many dollars for tickets. And then comics can blow it too, right? Comics can suck it or blow it. Fuck it, whatever. They can do all kinds of stuff to it, but they can screw up the whole show. And I had a show in Stillwater the other day, and this comedian I hired, she's very funny, she's very new, but she's like beyond her experience level. But she decided to do like a Bible bit related to like the ice and like, and I agree with her sentiments, but there were 8 people that walked out of the show and said they didn't work as her. And then the show doesn't want to have us back yet. I don't think it's that, but it could be that. You don't know, so that kind of stuff can happen. So now I want to start at least going through their set, at least understand their topics, not like their jokes. I don't want to censor them. So it's just crazy. Or they can just not be funny, and it just kills the energy in the room. So yeah, you got to book wisely. And the crowd may not pay attention at all, like I talked about earlier, or they may heckle. I'm very lucky that way. Like, people don't heckle me for some reason. Yeah. You guys can start. All right, almost done. These are some just scenes of the things I've done through the years. So I got to go to Hollywood and do a short set, Laugh Factory. I performed in Tokyo. This is somewhere in California. This is a wine bar that's closing down, unfortunately. In Shoreview, so we're having a free open mic there on the 25th to send them off. I got on the news for this big show we had at the Cedar Cultural Center 2 weeks ago, where I lost a lot of money, but it was a great show. And that's just Sisyphus. So it's fun, the experiences you have, and you meet people, you can't beat that. And that's my company, Haha Masala Comedy Productions. I have a joke about that, but I don't want to ruin all my jokes, so I want you guys to come watch them. Yeah. Okay, so just remember the key takeaways. Stand-up comedy is genuinely hard. Most people quit. It pays poorly until it might not, if you're really lucky and really good, or whatever. It's a fun, creative, community-building effort. Usually thankless, which is why people want it for free. I'm doing a show in a couple weeks where I get 2 free drinks and 15% off dinner. But sometimes it's just good to get stage time, I pay my comedians pretty well, I think. And then a lot happens behind the scenes that you never see, like the tickets, the marketing, the booking, working with the venues and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot to it. Not like a movie, but there's work involved. And I take sound equipment, lighting equipment, that kind of stuff. And here's the clincher. Local comedians need support way more than you realize. And so here's the ask. Because you seem like the 0.1%, the top 0.1%, Who doesn't love to laugh? You know what goes into it. So please go watch a local show, buy some merch, tip somebody. I mean, people will pay $15 for a cocktail, which lasts, 10 seconds to 10 minutes. But they won't pay $15 for a comedy show, which is kind of annoying. So do the math on that. Like, follow, subscribe. It's free. It takes 4 seconds. It gets us booked. So bookers look at how many Instagram followers we have. In fact, I do too, because I have to understand what kind of following a comedian has. And wouldn't it be weird if that comedian wasn't me? That you... But I won't judge you for it. Just support me. So this is an example of a shirt, emotional support human. Because I have a dog about emotional support dogs, or a joke about emotional support dogs. Designated drinker. That's a stereotype joke. And this is I'm a part-time psychic. I only work when I'm right. So. Very nerdy. I have a lot of nerdy jokes. I think that's... Yeah, so the next show is Saturday, March 21st at Boludo, which is like right where I live. And so it's going to be Alexa Kaczynski, me, and Aaron Woldeslassie. So if you guys can make it, I'd appreciate it. It's only a couple weeks away. And then here's all the links. The QR goes to my website. I just got a real website designed. So yeah, so it's atulpatelcomedy.com, which kind of makes sense. I'm trying to divide the production from the comedy thing a little bit. And haha masala is what I use on a lot of social media. So yes, thank you, and please be the 0.1%. I think you guys are. You guys are like the top 1.1% of crowds I've ever talked to or performed with. All right. Thanks, everybody. It's Atul Patel. You've been great. Q&A. Not used to that in comedy. Any questions or answers for me? Oh yeah, are we getting mics to them, or are we just talking? Sorry, go ahead.
Who is your current favorite local comic and national comic currently performing?
National, there's a guy named Mike Kaplan. Yeah, he's great. NYQ. I met him a few times. He's great. He's very... What? No, he's not Indian. He's Jewish. He's a Jewish guy. I'll tell him you said that. But locally, man, there's so many. It's really hard for me. There's a guy, I forgot his name, Charlie Retker. He won the Acting Funniest Person contest, and I happened to book him before he won. Then I booked another guy, got second place before he got second. So that was kind of cool to see. Those are some names I could have. Alexa's pretty good, and Aaron's pretty good as well. There's just so many. And then KJ the comedian is like one of my friends, and he's like my comedy mentor. So look for him. But yeah, he's performed nationally. Yeah, he's been around. All right, who has another question? Oh wait, you had
Yeah, my question is, you mentioned dealing with like rejection and that being, and also you made a joke about Peloton, but I feel like you're also talking about comedy being like very disciplined, like you have to commit to it. Would you recommend somebody give a try at stand up if they're engaging with a little rejection therapy, a little trying to get comfortable with people not always liking them, or would you say that's not for the faint of heart?
Yes, you have to have the right mindset. Like, everybody gets rejected, so here's how I learned to power forward is like, I can tell the same joke 3 nights, right? One night they think it's pretty good, the next night they love it, and the third night is crickets, they hate it. So then I know it's them and it's not me, right? Seriously, that's really helped me like work through that a little bit. And it's the crowd, them not wanting to laugh, like bad attitude crowds. Yeah, go ahead.
So for those of us who are not ready to go try, open mic night, but who might think sometimes we're funny, what would be like general advice you give to people who sometimes feel like they're funny and they probably could be a little funnier, but they ruin it?
Wait, you mean a conversation or on stage?
Yeah, conversation.
I think a little beer helps, a little alcohol helps to improvise, but I don't know. I mean, a lot of it's what you're born with. It's like making connections with the things that other people don't make connections for. I don't know how you learn that or how you practice that. And sometimes just simple twists or...
What are your delivery-wise?
That's all over the board. Because you got like, really loud people, then you got really quiet people. But it's the connection. That's what wins people over.
So, there's a question I was going to ask in a few, but like we talk about comedians, there's emphasis on writing the jokes,
Yeah.
delivering the jokes and having like the improvisational ability to respond on the spot. How would you rate like the importance of those three things, whether for you or in general?
Joke writing to me is very important unless you're doing crowd work, but even then you can pre-write some things. So delivery is very important, and it's showing some confidence and making it conversational to some extent, not sounding very like rehearsed. Like you watch some comics where it's like they memorize the script. So like I have my words and my set list, but I don't tell the exact same words every time. I think that's kind of important to get to that point. But then you screw up too. So delivery is not easy because I'll forget whole jokes or I'll forget parts of jokes, and then you kick yourself afterwards. But as long as they liked it, it's fine. And you can always substitute later. You're like, oh shit, I got 2 minutes left. Then you have like these jokes in your pocket that you pull out to just throw out there. That's when I throw in the dating jokes. Okay.
Hey, so I'm going to lead this question with an answer.
Sweet. I did ask for answers too.
Yeah, but I want to know your thoughts too. So I think one of the hardest things for comedians is to like figure out how to grow their audience.
Yeah.
And there's a mailing list controlled by Luis Roots locally.
Yeah, Luis Roots. Yeah, he's like cool.
Yeah, it's like it's a newsletter you can sign up for at guatemalan.com.
Okay. For people
to find out about local comedy events every week.
That's smart. I should have thought of that.
You should sign up for it.
Yeah, right. Well, I know him. He doesn't really know me. He doesn't book me.
Sure. So I want to call it out just for everybody here.
It's getting personal now. What?
For everybody here in town who wants to like keep up with events that are happening, I think that's a great resource.
That's good. No, it's
and you
good.
should sign up for the newsletter. And then Reddit has a stand-up comedy Reddit too for finding out about
there's that
comics that I've been learning about a lot.
Okay, and then there's an open mic list that Mike Brody puts out.
Yes.
Just Google Twin Cities open mics, and they put all the open mics there.
So
and here's the thing: if you're new to a place and you want to do open mic, it's a Twin Cities tradition. You put a star by your name, you almost always get stage time.
So I just want to know: are there any other recommendations you have for people to keep connected?
No, I mean I did the YouTube ads, but it's like people in India can't buy my tickets to my shows. So I'm still struggling with that, building a following. You get people that you try everything, and I'm doing this thing like comedy tours now on Viator, where I'm like helping people sign up for open mics, and I'll give them like an hour of coaching before the open mic. So I'm trying to generate income in every possible way with comedy. What's that? Yeah, well I was, but then I don't know. And I just didn't go anywhere, and it's like, you can only do so much. Right? I'm not a TikTok kind of guy. Yeah, so anybody else? Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Hi.
So I was a high school English teacher for a long time, so I've got that comedy thing. I'm done. So now, because high schoolers are brutal.
Yeah.
So I've started doing burlesque lately, and they have this thing where, like, they throw money at you when you're hot.
Right.
I guess I wonder what you think that could look like in stand-up comedy.
We have tip jars, tip buckets.
Tip buckets, but you don't want money thrown at you. Is that what you're saying?
I don't mind it either way.
Okay. I'm just wondering if we could start, if you wanted to start that norm, how and where might you start that norm?
With you and me at another show.
Oh. Yes, I just saw David get his wallet out.
One more question. I only have 5 to 10.
Go ahead.
So, not a question, but I've been following your Instagram since the beginning of your set. You've gone
Thank
up
you.
at least 7 people.
What about 7?
You've gone up at least 7 people.
Sweet, thank you, buddy. That's the 0.035%. I'm good at math, too.
All right, everyone give a round of applause for Cool.
Oh, my God.
If you have questions for any of our presenters, catch them afterwards. If you want to have an idea for presentations you want to give, catch any of us organizers. Otherwise, we'll see you all on the second Wednesday of next month and every month for Twin Cities Nerd Night.